Greetings, Mech Warriors. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last episode of German Mechgineering. Okay, jokes aside, now that I have your attention, welcome, guys, to German Mechgineering. Today we will be playing the Griffin 2N because today it is the day 4th of July. It is the day of freedom, and what symbolizes freedom and majesty more than the Griffin 2N? And I'm gonna get into the build in a second here, guys, but some of you guys might remember a few months ago I made a video talking about going full-time and what it will entail and what we'll have to do to make this happen. And I proposed 3 stages: Flamer Hell, Lurm Limbo, and Dakka Heaven. Flamer Hell being the stage where I burn through my savings making this content, Lurm Limbo being a stage where I can cover my bills, just the bills, nothing else, but at least I can live without burning through my savings, and Dakka Heaven being the stage where I am a content creator that can do this for a living because it's a profitable quote-unquote business. So, I told you guys I am giving myself until today to try and see if I can get out of Flamer Hell and into Lurm Limbo so that we can go ahead and continue building this and at least see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm happy to say that we've actually achieved that. So we're not far into Lurm Limbo. We're like barely scraping at the border towards Flamer Hell, but we were able to do it 2 consecutive months in a row. So, you know what, guys, I'm feeling pretty confident that going forward with MWO, going forward with all sorts of content, and going forward with me as a content creator is a good thing moving forward. So we will be continuing what we've done so far, and of course we're going to continue with the guides and with the other games, especially of course Battletech will be back. Apologize for the delays, guys, but A, it was insanely hot, and B, and that's the bigger problem, it was really hard to get some good footage in MWO because I was very unlucky with the matchmaker over this past week. So as I said, guys, it is close. I need to be on top of my game, and thank you so much at this point to everybody who's subscribed to the Twitch channel, to everybody who's joined us on Patreon, to everybody who's donated money, for example, towards that new PC that I plan to build. Huge thanks to you guys, just huge thanks. Yeah, you guys are all making this possible, because from the ad earnings alone, it would be impossible. However, though, I have to say, I've got a few guys out there that are donating well above the average, and without these guys, we would be instantly back in Flamer Hell. So while it's nice of where we're going right now, I do not feel safe, because there might be issues. There might be people whose financial situation changes and whatnot, and all of a sudden, if you only have a small amount of patrons, if you only have a small amount of people that regularly donate, then yeah, it can be problematic very quickly. So fingers crossed to increase the numbers of people who support me and move further and further into Lurm Limbo, and maybe in a couple of months or in a year see the light of Dakka Heaven. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so much about that. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you would like to support me in any way or form, go ahead, check out my Patreon page, or if you just want to do a one-time donation, the easiest thing you can do is just go to my Twitch page. There is a link to my Streamlabs where you can just do a one-time donation. All right, guys, I'll shut up about that now. Let's get into Mechwarrior Online. I've kept you waiting long enough, and today we're playing the Griffin 2N, as I said. You know that this is one of my favorite mechs with SRM6s, but, and I've never done this before, what about if I run this thing with streaks? Because let's look at it. We have got 4 missile hardpoints. We've got them in a very nice spot, quite high up there. We only have to expose about 30% of our mech to be able to fire. And we've got ECM, we've got jump jets. We've basically got everything we need to have a really nice mech here. So the basis of this build is going to be an XL285 engine. I actually dropped this down from my brawler build that normally runs an XL300, but I found that you don't need the insane speed from the XL300 here, and you just benefit from having a little bit more tonnage for more armor and more jump jets. And then, of course, guarding ECM is going to keep us safe. And the 4 Streak 6s give us a firepower of 48 if we alpha strike this. I recommend you do groups of 2 and then maybe chain fire. Only alpha strike this if you can afford the ghost heat from the extra Streak SRM6 that you're adding over the normal heat skill limit of 3. And the rest of the mech is just ammo, 6.5 tons of ammo to the 3 jump jets. Lower the head armor a little bit, lower the arm armor a little bit, and you will be golden. Okay, let's look at the skill tree here. Now for the skill tree, we're going deep into firepower, and we're going into, of course, all the missile nodes, but I'm also trying to gobble up some of the range nodes here, because with streaks, you want to make sure you get as much range in as possible. Range is life. I didn't grab all of them, and I didn't grab the full tree here, because we still need sensors and everything, but range is life, guys, so definitely at least invest this much into the firepower tree with missile rack 1 and 2, with high explosive 1 and 2, and missile spread 1 and 2. Then into the survival tree we go, and we go full armor in the survival tree, so left hand side completely, and then right hand side down to armor hardening 8. Now, of course, if you don't want to go full armor, you can save 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points here. TTP can count. Rejoice. And you could go, for example, down this range here, get those range nodes over here, just get another 2% more range here, get another 2% more range here, and maybe grab up some heat gen and some cooldown nodes. So if you want to do that, then try that out. You'll basically gain about, what is it, an extra, yeah, maybe 10 to 15 meters range, which doesn't sound like much, guys, but if you have 270 max range, after this range, your missiles just go poof, they just evaporate. With this build, you have a max range of about 299.7, so about 300, but you could go to 310 maybe. So that would also be nice. Something to think about. Yeah, just try it out, guys. I mean, these skill trees are meant to be used and experimented with. Don't just blindly follow my build or blindly follow anybody's build. Adapt it to your liking. That's important, guys. Okay, nothing in mobility, we don't need to be that fast, nothing in jump jets, nothing in operations. We got streaks. Inner sphere streaks fire quite quickly, so they are a little bit of a concern heat-wise, but if you don't overdo it with alpha striking, you should be okay. Sensors tree, now here is where it gets important. ECM 1 and 2, non-negotiable. And of course, since we already have that, seismic 1 and 2, really, really nice, because we are short-ranged mech, so we want to know what's going on. And radar derp, so we don't get lurmed to hell. And then in the auxiliary tree, double cool shot with cool shot cooldown, very important, you will need it, and double RE strike. Or you could go with an RE strike and a UAV. I'll leave it up to you. Alright guys, that's the build for today in the beautiful, beautiful Buccaneer skin, by the way, one of the better skins that PGI made. Maybe we should do some fashion show someday, and I'll show you my favorite skins in the game, because it says plunder and burn here on the side torso, and on this side it says Captain. I even got a Jolly Roger on there. I've got the Günzburg Eagles on there. Funny story, actually. I'm actually born in the city of Günzburg, which has a similar coat of arms like this. By the way, this blue and white here is from the state of Bavaria. If anybody asks, that's where all the good beer comes from, or most of the good beer comes from in Germany. And there's also like nice skulls and bones everywhere. This is one of the, I would say, more interesting skins that they did back in the day when they still made fun skins, and I'm hoping they will continue doing that in the future. Okay, wow, I'm really in a talkative mood today. Okay, TTB, zip, let's zip it, let's take this thing to a dropship and see how it performs. I shall see you there. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom, not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation through Lerms. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night, we will not vanish without a fight, we're going to live on, we're going to kick their asses, and that was adapted from Independence Day. Welcome guys to the Polar Highlands, and well, as you see right here, we have a huge conga line in our team walking towards Hotel 8, Hotel 7, and the enemy team, as always, is opposed to us in the India 9 9 in India 8 area, also going in a nice conga line, everybody trying to stay away from the enemy as far as possible, which of course I like, because that means I can just go ahead and try to put down an artillery strike, then realize that it's already been put down by somebody else and be very sad. But I'm out in the open, TTB with his head held high in his Griffin 2N, the symbol of freedom soaring upwards, and then we're gonna go ahead and use the symbol of freedom everywhere in the world, which is an artillery strike. And now we run for cover because somebody saw me and started shooting me. So I see lots of juicy assaults over there in the India 9 area. My teammates are pushing in on them. The enemy team right now is a little bit split, so this might be a good chance for us to do something here. However, we need to be oh so careful. Oh, that is an onion juicy with SRMs and medium pulses and an LB20. Yeah, I don't want to brawl with this guy. Instead, I want him to brawl with my teammates, and I want to be using my streaks onto enemy targets of opportunity that we can see. For example, that catapult right here, double shot with our streaks, and to cover we go. Moving in onto the Annihilator, we use our jump jets to stay relatively healthy, but I'm still jumping around in front of the Annihilator. Look at somebody else, please. There we go. Teammate takes him down. Beautiful shot. And here's the thing, guys. Look at where my team is positioned. They're actually on the hillside, but slightly down. So if the enemy team decides to push, they have to push downward. We can see them first and we can shoot them in the face, while they have to expose their whole mechs in order to be able to engage us. That's what that Mad Cat is doing right now, and that's why he's getting ripped to shreds. Yeah, they're going on to our assault mech over there, who is a little out of position, but it doesn't matter. We will just use his sacrifice to engage. If you see an assault mech, friendly assault mech, go down, guys. You gotta engage. You gotta make some use out of that, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We are just shelling the enemy team with SRM streaks left and right. We see a Cyclops and we streak Cyclops together with our teammates. As you can see, my team is holding them in India 9. I'm rotating a little bit to the right side here to be able to engage and take down the Cyclops, and now we're going in again. And we don't continue the rotation into India 7. No, you go straight for the enemy. Never ever go where there is nothing. Always have a purpose where you're going. Holy hell, I'm very passionate today. Maybe that's from because of that speech done so beautifully by Bill Pullman, one of my all-time heroes, because he was in Spaceballs. All right, so we're taking down the enemy catapult. 3-4 Lerm 10s on this guy, and that's maybe enough Lerms, but we don't care. Oh, see, that's a target I like. That's a missed links, and we're just gonna go ahead and go single chain fire onto him now, because we are very overheated, but that's alright. We can shoot about one streak every 1 to 1.2 seconds. And the Griffin claims ahead. Beautiful. Well, at this point it's only one enemy alive, and he, of course, he is the hero. The unsung hero of the battlefield, because he took his flag and he planted it in our base. There is nobody there. All his buddies have been battered, bruised, beaten and broken. But he's in our base, holding his flag high, still hoping against hope. I don't know what to do. Like, he's just put a flag there. We don't care. We're just gonna go over there and murder him. So, what I would recommend, guys, is to try and stay in the fight. You're not gonna win the match by solo capping the enemy base, most likely. So, you might be able to amplify damage in your... Well, this is an Osiris, double SRM6s, 2 mediums. That's not a bad build. It has some punching power, but unfortunately, he's alone. And if you are alone, in the end, you get gobbled up by the enemy team, and you're dead. However, wasn't his fault, of course, that his team lost, but he would have been better served being in the fight. Here we go. 1 killing blow, 9 assists, 1 solo kill, 5 kill, most damage dealt, 910 damage done, and 7 components taken out on the long-range map with the short-range streaks by Dinosphere in the Griffin 2N. And guys, if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy insane TTV, then go ahead, check out my Patreon page, become an active supporter and a member of Team TTB. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into the next game, because of course we've always got a second game lined up, and we're here on the Grim Plexus, and I'm gonna shut up for a second and let the mates talk.
Together since it's skirmish. Exactly. Turn the objective we're pushing. Are we busy going somewhere?
Affirmative.
The team appears to be.
Target spotted.
I'm not sure why. They're kind of stretching us out. It's not an advantage.
New target
spotted.
I
acquired.
kind of feel like the fast effects are like greyhounds. You just want to run at
Negative.
things. Yeah. Sometimes.
Target spotted.
I think what they often don't realize is that the first one there is usually the first one dead.
Target spotted.
So, the first one there is the first one dead. Let's look at the veracity of that statement after the match, guys. But what I would like to point out here is, I agree with the guy. His statement is correct. You don't want to be drawn out. You don't want to rush into the enemy team not knowing what you're doing and not being able to survive there. And you definitely want to murder ball up and be able to focus fire targets. However, what I see a lot happen is that this actually correct base desire to do the right thing gets a little bit corrupted into let's not engage, let's fall back a little bit, let's not go too insane, we don't have everybody here, there's target of opportunity, but let's hang back, let's not get shot. Don't let a correct tactical assessment turn into passivity, guys. You want to be out there, you want to be engaging, you want to be trading, you want to be shot in the face. As long as you shoot the enemy more in the face, it's all good. Speaking about all good, that's a Fafnir Ripperoni Jabroni, and we can go ahead and push in with our team. 69% of my mech alive at this point, but you know what? I don't care, because we just took away 100 tonner from the battlefield. Now we just dumped 2 nice shots into an Arctic Cheetah, and we will continue moving forward and continue pushing. Look at where my assaults are standing right now. They're still sitting in Hotel 7. They've been engaging a little bit, yes, but they could be a lot faster, they could be a lot further ahead. Go ahead, guys, and play aggressive. Be active. Be active. And then employ the right tactics. And one of those right tactics is sticking together. Look at what the team is doing right now. We are fighting in Gulf 7, Gulf 8, and there's 2 guys going on the long flank for India 7. That is a tactical mistake. Why? You're weakening our firepower, and there's nothing there. So it's a pointless push. It's one of these pointless pushes that I always criticize. So what I'm saying, guys, is good tactics is one thing, but you also gotta have the will to win. And the will to win, you don't get that by sitting back and doing nothing and being passive. The will to win means you gotta go in, and you gotta be willing to trade some punches. And that means that you will lose some matches. Absolutely. You're gonna make mistakes. Hell, I probably ran into 2 enemy teams and died while making this video. That's alright. As long as on average I kill the enemies a lot more than they kill me, we're good, we're fine. Now, as you can see, the enemy is now pushing in towards us, bit by bit here, into a huge and long line. And that's a big mistake on the enemy team's part, especially like Arctic Cheetah, for example. That's a suicide dive into the enemy team. You're not going to survive this ever, especially not against a Streak Griffin that is just fired at you about 20 seconds ago. That Marauder 4 HP is dangerous. He's got SRM6s, and he's got a very, very dangerous build with 8 SRM6. So what I'm trying here is to go ahead and do some damage to him and help my teammates take him out, and then I'm just gonna go for targets of opportunity. For example, that Cicada over there, he is moving further into my team. Again, he's going into no man's land, he doesn't belong here, and he's gonna get murdered in a sec here by my teammates. Just trying not to hit them. There we go. 9 kills over 2 at this point. And look at that, the first guy that went in is still alive. Well, of course ECM helped with that, but also knowing when to go in and knowing when to not go in. There we go, the Jenner falls, and at this point it's only 1 target alive. I believe it's a Vapor Eagle. Yep, there we go, there he is. His legs are very, very open, and my teammates are going to take him down this very second. Alright, so how did the match end? By our team being together and the enemy team just trickling in and dying one by one. So, worked out quite nicely. But how did we make this happen? How did we cause this? By pushing in aggressively and by taking the fight while the rest of the team, or most of the team, was still hanging back. And that's how you get 820 damage and 3k MDDs, while some other guys might get 200. It's not rocket science. Alright guys, hope you liked today's video. Check out my Patreon page, become an active member of Team TTB. I'll see you soon.